Hi, welcome back. Week 10 of the NFL season here. Bringing it to you from my attic again. The fantasy staple, aka Dan and Chad on the Mac.
Fourth week in a row, we're bringing it to you hardcore so you can win your fantasy matchups.
Well, we had a decent week last week. We'll run through our recap with you. What do we got, Chad?
Well, LaShawn McCoy, Dan, you called it here, had 120 points and a touchdown. Pretty good.
Not bad.
I'm not going to lie. I called the Torrey Smith. He had a touchdown. Wasn't the greatest game. I think he had 8 points.
Yeah. Touchdowns, though.
Touchdowns are all that count.
Then we had Trent Richardson, 13 points total. He ran for over 100 yards, didn't he?
Yes, he did. 105 yards, Dan, against that stout, injured, ever reckless Baltimore defense.
Yeah, and then Ben Jarvis Green Ellis got your touchdown.
11
points. You can't complain with that.
The law firm came through. And then the Oakland. Sometimes you hate them, sometimes you love them, sometimes you hate them. The Oakland defense.
Oh man, we pick them, then we get rid of them.
Some weeks we love them, and some weeks we hate them, Dan.
Obviously, that's what the jig was all
That's
about.
what. And this week we're gonna probably hate them again. I think. Just a little forecast.
Just stay tuned. And then he called it over here. C.J. Spiller, Fred Jackson.
Combined for 12 points, Dan. What are you gonna do with that for
what
two
I tell
running
you last
backs?
Week, I said you'd be lucky if you got 10 from both of them. You were lucky if you played both of them. You probably don't have both of them. But 12 points combined. Not that great. And
the big cat bitches.
We feel great about this.
4-0. Dun dun dun. 4-0 on the fantasy Stone Cold Stables. That means, Dan, if people would have put $10 on a parlay, they would have won $100 with our picks alone. That brings me to, I believe, I am now 4-2 on the year. Am I? No, Staples. I was gonna say my record's 4-2 on the Staples for the year. I don't know what he.
We need to start keeping track.
I kept track of mine. I'm 4-2, bro.
4-2.
I'm 4-2, definitely.
I think I'm 2 and.
I'm like David Garrard and JV in high school. I'm 4-2.
3-3. I'm gonna go 3-3. We'll review it. I'll post it on the Twitter later. Let you guys know.
It's under review.
It is. I believe it's 3-3 because I lost one 2 weeks ago.
But you didn't call to sit Doug Martin this week. Last week.
You guys got jokes.
Oh, shit. Skeet. All right. How about that election last night, Dan? Okay, let's go into stardoms.
You didn't vote, Chad.
I didn't vote for Obama.
Joe Flacco, Chad. What do we got here?
All right, Joe Flacco. He's going against the Oakland defense. They allow a third worst league, 66% completion percentage against opposing quarterbacks. I like Flacco. He's been inconsistent lately, but he's bound to break out. The guy is not. He's in that, the little, what I call the fray for elite quarterbacks. He's not there. He's the in-betweener guy. He's the guy where Eli was kind of at this point in his career, so he could break out. This is going to be a big breakout game for him. I'm projecting 300 points and 2 touchdowns at least. Dan.
300 points?
No, 300 yards, not points. Sorry.
Doug Martin's got nothing on Joe Flacco.
Oh, jeez.
I hate the New England Patriots. I'm just going to tell you that flat out right now. Stephen Ridley, you got to start him this week. He's 7th in the league with a rushing yards, 716 yards. He averages 90 yards a game at 5 yards a carry. That Buffalo defense, that rush defense, it's abysmal.
They did give Chris Johnson, almost 200 yards, so that's a pretty good. I like Stephen Ridley lately, although Shane Vereen is coming on strong. Brandon Bolden might be back from injury too. Happens. So that's a stable, clustered shitload of backs that they have there, but Stephen Ridley did have a good week. He's had a good last 2 weeks, I believe, so 5.7 yards a carry.
No, that's what Buffalo gives. Buffalo's 30.
That's what I mean. That's a lot of yards
especially
even average
guy
backs.
He gains 5 yards a carry on average.
I wonder why the Browns didn't pound Richardson against him, but they did fall behind 14-0 early, so that might explain it.
And also with Tom Brady, he's playing well right now. He's coming out swinging. You can expect Ridley to get a lot of carries. It's going to open up the holes with Brady playing so well, and he could spring a few.
They're going to focus on the downfield threats, and especially I was actually going to use Brandon Lloyd this week, Dan. He was one that I thought might be a red zone threat this week, just because they're going to see the red zone. They're going to see it early, like Jenna Jameson. They're going to see it often. Okay. My next one, Brian Hartline, averages 8 targets a week.
Where's he from?
The Ohio State University. Anyways, in games that he's gotten 10 targets or more, he's averaged 157 yards. That means I need to throw the ball to him. Tannehill's a young guy.
Obviously.
Um,
The kid's got hands.
He's so inconsistent, though. I mean, only one touchdown on the year. It's hard for... I mean, a lot of you guys have him on the bench is where I'm getting it.
Yeah.
A lot of you guys have him. I had him in the Yahoo League. I might still have him. I don't know. I got to look. But he's inconsistent.
You have a Yahoo League? Who does that? I'm kidding, guys.
It's sacrilegious. But Tennessee, they give up a league worst 20 touchdowns to wide receivers so far this year. So I expect Brian Hartline to get those targets, get the yards, even if he doesn't get the touchdown. I'm thinking, Dan, I'm going to go out on the limb. I'm going to say, paid it. I'm going to say he's going to get paid it. I'm saying at least one touchdown for Brian Hartline this week. And I'm saying at least 100 yards. I'm saying a lot. Yeah. Tannehill needs to target the guy more. He's a young quarterback. That Hartline's a...
I mean, we're leading into Ryan Tannehill here. He's the guy that I'm going to say you got to start this week. Joe Philbin.
Who the fuck is Joe Philbin? Is that the guy from Fear Factor?
Rogan,
Joe Rogan.
Yeah,
Joe Rogan, you crazy.
Same guy, really, if you look at him. They got some similarities. He's given him more. He's given him more freedom. Tannehill's decision-making is actually improved quite a bit. He's making a lot of good decisions. He's getting the ball out quick. He's not holding on to it. He's not running around. He hasn't thrown an interception in the last 4 games. And the young receivers, Hartline, Devon Best, they're both catching the ball. They're not dropping it right now. Going up against the 20th ranked pass defense of Tennessee, just as he stated, it could be his time to shine. This game could be a breakout game for him.
Reggie Bush got Anthony Fasano 2 years ago. Where did you go, Anthony Fasano? That guy was a fantasy gold mine 2 years ago. What happened to him? He's still on the team.
That's Joe Philbin.
You know, he's got weapons around him. He's got Reggie Bush. It's just a matter of time. Maybe this is the week. I'm thinking
it could be that week.
I'm thinking, just what we're saying. Tennessee's defense is a little suspect, so
it could be a good week.
This could be more foreshadowing for more Miami this podcast too.
Stay tuned. Don't leave.
And that brings me to my next one, Dan. I hate to do this. I'm saying Browns fans. I know it's hard, but Pittsburgh's...
I did it last week. I threw T-Rich out there.
But this is really hard for me, Dan. Pittsburgh's defense this week. The reason I'm saying this, they're going against Kansas City's offense. Kansas City, tumultuous, just horrible. They've given more handouts than Obama has, Dan. Yeah, I'm serious. -20 on the turnover ratio. That's unheard of. That's historic shit right there. That's just... they're on the road at Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's only giving up 174 yards passing this year. Matt Castle's going to struggle. Matt Castle is going to be... He's going to be on his knees more than most high school girls at prom, I think. He's going to be dirtier on his knees more than a high school chick at prom in this game. That's horrible to say. Matt Castle's going to struggle. Dwayne Bowe's not going to catch anything. Jamal Charles, Where'd you go, Jamal Charles?
We also want to give a shout out to Willis McGahee.
Big shout out to Willis McGahee. But
I
don't know, the Pittsburgh defense. That game, we've been talking about this a little bit. I'm flat out convinced Pittsburgh will put a 30-burger up, maybe even a shutout at home. I would not be surprised. Dan thinks it's going to be a little closer. We'll talk about that later. But
we all know our teams. They may not always play like we know.
Jamal Charles is like a non-factor now. They're using McCluster. McCluster's gotten, 20 snaps a game at running back now?
I know you're watching this. What do you think about McCluster?
McCluster. Yeah, Tony, I know you love McCluster. You pick him up now, Tony. Do it. All right. Wow, that was intense. We'll give a shout-out to Wilson McGahee against Carolina. I think I'm probably going to regret not using him.
Are we going to sit Carolina again?
I don't know. I really don't know. Actually, D'Angelo Williams had a touchdown last week. Jonathan Stewart had a decent performance. Cam Newton had a really, stagnant for him, whatever, compared to the rookie year. Did decent, though, but...
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
What about that LaFell pick? I liked it. I backed it. But this week, I think Willis McGahee is also one, that little guy in the weeds weaving around. We should go to the sleepers.
We're going to move on to sleepers. We're beating up Tennessee's defense today. the only reason we're doing so is because they're
They're getting
bad.
beat up like Gary Johnson at the election polls, Dan.
Gosh, enough of this that election.
Oh.
I don't want to hear it anymore. I got mine out on Facebook. So.
No product placement there.
That is the worst beer in the world, guys.
I'm not going to deny it.
Devon Bess at Tennessee. He averages 8 targets a game. Tannehill, like we said earlier, his decision making is improving a lot. Tennessee's given up 11 yards a catch, tied for the most TDs given to receivers at 20. And against Tennessee, big plays happen quite often.
The only question to me is the targets per game. He gets 8 per game. I don't remember Devin Best catching 8 balls in a game this year is the only problem for me. Devin Best he's to me like a Chris Givens for Miami. He's a home run guy. He returns punts, I believe, too, and kickoffs.
Well, it doesn't
time
help
to time.
you as receiver. Tennessee,
It's all
they're
fantasy points.
20. What?
It's all points. It's all fantasy.
It is, but you've got to have their special teams. You got to have Miami special teams. It doesn't help you.
Everything about Joe Philbin is special.
But again, Tennessee, they've given up 32 plays of 20-plus yards and 5 of 40-plus. I mean, that could spill out quite a few big plays if Tannehill's still getting the ball out there to his receivers, getting them out there. The worst you can do, he's going to get at least 80 yards and a touchdown.
That's why we do the sleepers, though. So when you're in the bye-week filler gap, your wide receivers are on buys or special guys are on buys. These are the guys you need to pick up. They're worth a shot. You never know what's going to happen.
That's a fact. Who you got next, Chad?
I got Dustin Keller. Only owned at 35% of all leagues, and he's coming back from an injury, Dan. So he's only played 2 full games this year, and he's got 7 receptions in both games. 2011, he was among top 10 among all tight ends in targets and fantasy points. So I'm saying, people, we don't like the tight ends at the fantasy stable. They've done us wrong.
What I picked last week? Brandon Myers, 0 catches.
No, that was Kellen Davis.
Kellen Davis, same difference. Tight ends are tight ends.
But I really do think Dustin Keller for the remainder of the year, especially late in the year, because he missed so much of the season, he's going to come on strong and he's going to get the reps. He's going to play even when the games are meaningless. He's got to earn the contract status. He was a top 10 guy for the last 2 seasons, I believe. And he was an up-and-comer for this year, so he's worth looking at.
You can't help it when you got Sanchez thrown at you who can't fucking hit the broadside of a barn.
It's pretty bad. I think there's a lot more going on there,
Well, obviously. I mean, Santonio Holmes smoking weed again? I don't know. But, moving on. Vic Ballard. Going up against Jacksonville. 26.
Wait, so you're picking Vic Ballard? My guy?
Whoa.
My guy that
Chad
I gave
here.
up? I released him last
3
week.
weeks in a row.
No!
3
I
weeks
told
in a
you
row.
last week, get rid of the Vic Ballard.
You did.
He injured himself on the dive for the pylon.
I'm jumping on the bandwagon. The Vic Ballard wagon. I'm doing it this week. This week only. We'll see what happens. Jacksonville, their defense, 26th against the rush, 27th against the pass.
Just beat up on the Jacksonville defense. That makes sense, though.
It does. I mean, with Rasheed Mathis out, stupid penalties, 4th most in the league. It's going to keep the drives alive. He's going to get a bunch of carries. And finally, Chad.
Well, Donald Brown's questionable this week as well, I believe, and they don't have much. They have Mewelde Moore behind both of those guys, so it's not really. Was that an Obama thing there? Or?
You got to stay with me, guys.
You got to stay here, because imagine if I got shot and Joe Biden became president. What would happen then?
You can't say the president's going to get
I'm
shot.
not, but I'm just saying. He's the shit. Everybody knows
I'm going to
Obama's
go on
the
a
man.
limb here. I'm going to try and taste that fruit, as Chad says.
Taste
And also, as he says, Vic Ballard, pay dirt on the ground. First time this year.
a little bit of the pay
A
dirt.
little bit of the pay dirt. We're doing it this
You're
week.
not treading
Vic
easy. You're
Ballard.
going for the pay dirt.
We're going all the way. Against that Jacksonville defense,
You going to put a
You're gonna
staple
see
in it?
I'm going to put a staple in
Put a
this one.
staple in it, America. That means pick up Vic Ballard right now.
And moving on to your next sleeper, Chad.
Not a big Buffalo fan. I actually hate the fan base, as me and Dan discussed earlier this week.
He
I would
loves
be
that.
as disgusted if my son turned out to be a Buffalo fan as a Pittsburgh fan because their fans are shit. I'm sorry. If you are a Buffalo fan watching this
Straight up.
in your hut, in your little village in New York somewhere, of Harlem, without power maybe, That's bad.
That's
All right.
too much.
Those fans are
Too much.
obnoxious, though. They're just jerks.
We're trying to get viewers here, Chad.
But I'm going to say Ryan Fitzpatrick this week. He was a tight area top 10 quarterback for most of the year. In 11 career starts against New England, he's averaged 285 yards per game, Dan, throwing 11 touchdowns. Week when they played him earlier this week, what was that? Week 4. Week 4 this year. He threw 350 yards and 4 touchdowns. That's all I need to say. New England's ranked 26th versus the pass. And he's available in... I'm putting a staple in it, Dan.
He's putting a staple in this one.
Ryan Fitzpatrick will do you ridiculous Buffalo fans proud.
Does a fantasy body
You're
good.
probably not going to win the game, but you're going to fall behind early, and Ryan Fitzpatrick will rack up the moolah. You didn't use Donald Jones, did you?
I didn't.
I thought you were going to use Donald Jones. I'm kind of disappointed.
I thought...
The only reason why, because Donald Jones went to Youngstown State. I love my Penguins. But anyways...
Just a little shout out to Donald Jones. If you got some free space, pick him up. Donald Jones, look him up.
But I'm going to put a staple in it. Ryan Fitzpatrick, at least a touchdown and 300 yards. They're probably not going to win the game. Not going to win the game.
You got another one here for us, Chad?
Yes, I
I'm
do,
right
Dan.
on the sleepers this week, guys. I slacked a little bit.
Dan's been dieting on the sleepers this week, but I'm going to go with Marcel Reese. A lot of you probably read Matthew Berry said pick him up this week. Only owned 4% of all leagues. Darren McFadden doesn't play. Marcel Reese is going to be the guy over Tywan Jones to get a majority of the carries. They don't have much. Who is Tywan Jones? Sounds like a tattoo artist from Youngstown.
Actually, I think that's correct.
He gave you your first tattoo, the yin yang, right?
He did. It's nice and pretty.
Anyways, Marcel Reese has averaged 10.5 yards per reception. He's only had 1 carry all year, though. But he's actually going to get to tote the rock this week, I think. So look for him. Maybe he actually had 15 points last week in spot duty after McFadden got hurt. So I'm thinking 10 points against Baltimore this week. He's worth picking up if you're on a bye week blues running back position. Check him out. The pickings are slim. What are you going to go? Rashad Jennings, if he's still available? I mean,
27 carries for 54 yards. Yeah, let's do this.
People are all just going crazy over it. And there's more of Alex Green's a bye week blues baby. Rashad Jennings, bye week's blues baby. Pick those guys up. They're trash. They are trash. You could go to a high school JV running back could put up the numbers that those guys have put up. But I think Marcel Reese, because he has the experience, he's not just a guy that just got pitched into the limelight. He's actually going to be decent when he gets carries. And he's kind of like a Darren Sproles, third down type.
A little quick guy. Not
as good as Darren Sproles, but he's kind of what Oakland uses, because McFadden should actually get 100% of carries, but he doesn't. But they use Reese in spot duty. Now he's finally getting a little bit more of the work, so I think he'll be all right. So I'm going to start him, so why not?
Good deal. We got one more shout out, T.Y. Hilton. Chad's in love with T.Y. Hilton. He loves the kid.
Little backstory here. My buddies Luke and Rudy, they've known me. That's why I actually made a Twitter account, was for T.Y. Hilton. This is a true story. I never would have encountered Twitter, but it was only to get on there and hype up T.Y. Hilton for the draft. I wanted the Browns to take him in the first round. I don't care what people said about projections 40 times or anything. Injury prone in college is the only reason he dropped in the draft. Guy has 4.3 speed. Dade County Player of the Year in high school. Junior and senior year, I believe.
He's got to get away from the cop speed.
Wow, exactly.
Madden said it, I can say it.
The guy chose to go to the hometown school, FIU, and he put up amazing numbers. That's why I'm giving him a big shout out this week. I'm saying pick him up, T.Y. Hilton. If he doesn't get as many targets, but he should. We'll move on.
We will move on.
We're running time.
Sit-ems. We're trying not to keep you guys in front of the computer screen. We know it's bad for your carpal tunnel and whatnot. We're going to go with sit-ems here. Sidney Rice versus the Jets. The Jets can't stop the run. Marshawn Lynch is going to have a field day against them. Jets have the 6th-ranked pass defense. Sidney Rice, to me, is an easy sit, seeing how he's going to get shut down, and Marshawn Lynch is going to get a majority of the play. What's yours, Chad, here?
I'm going to go with Ryan Matthews. Hasn't broke 100 yards this year. Backs like Andre Brown, Sean Green, and Mikel Shore. Really? This guy was like a first-round pick type projection for the season. He's not producing. He's going against a very tough defense this week. Tampa Bay, 77 yards a game is all they're giving up, Dan. Number 1 versus the rush. Sit Ryan Matthews this week.
Sit him. Also, along the same line, Steven Jackson, 0 100-yard games this year. He's had 1 touchdown. Daryl Richardson he's quietly starting to take his carries away. You're going to see that happen this week. He's going to keep getting those carries. He's going to keep taking away from Steven Jackson. It's really time to part ways with your loyalty to Steven Jackson.
Daryl Richardson's the back in St. Louis moving forward for the future. Yeah, I can see it's going to happen before this year's done.
It will.
It's sad, but age takes a toll. My last guy is Michael Crabtree. Alex Smith, very inconsistent. I know Crabtree's been one of your loyal guys that you've liked, but you've seen it. You've lived it. And I don't expect – the guy hasn't broke 7 receptions all year versus any team. So St. Louis got a tough rush defense, and I don't expect Michael Crabtree to produce much this week, so sit him on the bench.
And those are our sit-ems for this week. What do we got next, Chad?
Dun, dun, dun!
4-0 last week. 4-0.
4-0, son. Put a staple in it. Doo-doo.
Stone Cold Staples here. We pick 2 games, as you know, every week. 4 total between the 2 of us.
Are you going to hang me with that?
No, Chad, I'm not going to hang you. I did not PMCS my laptop here.
Dan didn't charge his Mac.
I did not. You want to plug that in over there? It's closer.
Well, you go with your staples while I plug this in.
All right. Let me pick this up. I apologize, guys, for this slight inconvenience.
Dude, this doesn't have a 3-hole prong.
Where's on the side, you tart?
Oh! Skate.
Chad will be back. My first pick, Kansas City at Pittsburgh. Kansas City is being spotted at 11.5 points. I know Chad thinks they're going to put up that 30 spot, 0 points.
30 burger.
KC. Little shutout here. I think it's going to be much closer. We all know, Pittsburgh fans, in the past we've been suspect against...
Pittsburgh fans know what? Oh, okay. That was a dick move.
Why don't you go vote for... Oh, you didn't vote. I'm taking KC with the points. It's going to be a close game. Pittsburgh's going to edge it out. It's not going to be... It's going to be a 10-point game at the most. KC, they can pass the ball. I know they're hit and miss as well, but we're hit and miss when it comes to the pass against good quarterbacks. I know I said good quarterbacks. Matt Castle, he's not...
He didn't even start a game in college.
And Tom Brady went to Michigan.
Okay, well...
And my second one, Indianapolis at KC. Wow. At Jacksonville. Jacksonville's getting 3 points. I'm going to take Indianapolis on this. Andrew Luck's starting to shine. They're talking about MVP for
Indy's
him.
been the hot... If I was still
5-3.
betting football and losing money like I used to, or whatever I was doing betting, Indy's the hot trend this year. I mean, to me, that's
a big ticket right now.
They're shaving their heads. They got a reason to play. That always helps.
Chuck Strong.
It's about more than just football to them right now. Their coach is
is.
in a horrible situation right now. They're playing for him. There's a lot of emotion. It's not just about the money. So you got to watch out for teams like that.
Yeah.
That's a strong
with
team.
dreads. We all saw that photo.
Dude didn't shave his head. That's it. I got Dallas -1 at Philly. Reason being, Philly sucks. Dallas, they got Romo, Miles Austin, yada, 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 yada. I just like Dallas against the spread. It's basically a pick 'em game, and I don't have faith in Mike Vick anymore. There's a lot of
I know I was huge on him.
I know this game might be a dogfight.
I got to oh my gosh. But, yeah, it's that Philly team.
I think the only reason the spread's this way is because, well, Dallas, Tony Romo's been throwing that many picks, but I don't know. The next Atlanta is almost in a pick 'em game against the Saints because the Saints won on Monday night. Really? You need to have this as a 1-point advantage for Atlanta for you to...
It's this democratic system we live in, Chad.
Anyways, I got Atlanta as a stone cold staple, and I'm not going to be surprised when we sweep and go 4-0 this week, Dan.
I can see it 2 weeks in a row.
And let's
4-0.
jump into what everybody's been waiting for. Everybody's been holding their breath.
It's the Chris Johnson Fantasy Tracker. Here we are now. How many points do you have, Chad?
Chris Johnson impressed a lot of people last week, Dan. He exceeded expectations that none of us were ever imagining against Chicago, especially this guy.
I jumped the gun there when he had -1 yard.
I'm going 14, Dan. I'm saying 90 yards, a touchdown, actually 80 yards, a touchdown, and a little bit of receiving sprinkled in. I'm saying 15.
15 points. That's
definite start status
yes,
this week,
this
though.
week.
And he agrees.
I do. I was going to go with 18 points. He's going to get 100 yards, I believe, and a touchdown, maybe a reception in the flats. But I'm saying 18, Chad 15. And
he's going to have a good game
yeah,
this week.
He's starting to
gonna
come out of
show
that
up.
shell a little bit. He's starting to. I guess he's getting those cobwebs out of those legs. I don't know why it took so long, but hey, he's finally in a groove. But you hear it here first. Check us out. Twitter at Dan and Chad on the Mac, the fantasy staple.
Hit us up on the Dan Chat at the Mac
We're
on
not
Twitter.
doing bad. We're actually doing really well. I'm winning my league right now.
Matthew Berry ain't got shit on us, son.
I'm actually.
Matthew Berry makes bad picks and nobody calls him out on it. Hit us up. We're gonna get your team right. And that is true. Matthew Berry does have some bad
He does have
projections.
some, as we said a few weeks ago, some stinkers.
Wherever Kevin Payne is, hit us up on Twitter. I love hearing your show, man, when I ride to the Browns games. Kevin Payne, I don't know his name. I'm usually drinking when I'm driving up there. Or I'm
I
getting
don't
road.
know.
I'm not driving. I'm a passenger.
We are the fantasy staple. Dan and Chad on the Mac. Get us on the Twitter. We got a Facebook. We don't pay attention to it, but hey, if you want to like us, go ahead.
Eat apples.
And eat apples, chocolate milk. We're out.
Hit us up, bacon.